This is interesting,
said Mortarion's voice.
This is a memory you hide in. You went to see Father. You want him to protect you now. How touching.
Guilliman, still tongueless, lipless, wordless, could only relive what he had seen. Trajan Valaris bade the great doors open. His words were a jumble broken by time, his movements a fan of overlapping images and terrible shades of gold. But when the gates opened and the light came out, that was pure. Mortarion gasped in discomfort, and Guilliman felt a little hope. He remembered. He relived. He had gone to see what his father had become. Guilliman had been thousands of years dead. He had spent subjective years lost in the warp to come to Terra, only to find an empire ruined laid starkly before his disbelieving eyes, all building to this fateful moment. There were wordless screams of the Psykers drained to feed his terrible majesty. There were visions of gods, demigods, of a brown-skinned man of calm expression, clad in skins, clad in mail, clad in clothes of all colors and bewildering variety, clad in armor of gold. He had many faces, all proud, all betrayed. He saw Malkador in him, the first regent. He saw his brothers. Millions of ideas battered him, memories from tens of thousands of years of existence, random circular trains of thought, obsessions, predictions, and fears. So many voices, all the same, all different. None coherent. He saw a dusty room, titanic in scale, crammed with machinery of awful purpose. The living dying in relay to sustain the monstrous thing. The center was a machine of gold, shrouded in the dust of broken dreams. A skull-faced cadaver, all life gone, perched within its seat. By then, the vision flickered, and he saw a king of infinite power, resting a while upon his throne to think, only lost to his subjects for a while. And when done with his meditation, he would rise and rule justly. He saw a tired man who would be his father, giving him grave counsel he could not hear, telling him what he must do. Again, his view changed, and he saw an evil force to rival the great powers of chaos. He saw sorrow, triumph, failure, loss, and potential. There is no one face among all the faces, no one voice, but a chorus, a cacophony. The Emperor's presence was a hammer blow to his soul, a tremendous scouring of being. He could not stand before it. He fell to his knees. The Valor stood by his side as if nothing happened. He was in the dust of the Corpse King's court. He was before a resplendent emperor for all the ages. "Father," he said, and when he said that word, it was the last time he had meant it. "Father, I have returned." Guilliman forced himself to look up into the pillar of light, the screaming of souls, the empty-eyed skull, the impassive god, the old man, yesterday's savior. "What must I do? Help me, Father. Help me save them." In the present, in the past, he felt Mortarion's wordless presence at his side, and felt his fallen brother's horror. He looked at the Emperor of Mankind, and could not see. Too much, too bright, too powerful. The unreality of the being before him stunned him to the core. 100 different impressions, all false, all true, raced through his mind. He could not remember what his father had looked like before, and Guilliman forgot nothing. And then, that thing, that terrible, awful thing upon the throne saw him.
"My son,"
it said.
13.
It said.
"Lord of Ultramar, Savior, Hope, Failure, Disappointment, Liar, Thief, Betrayer, Guilliman."
He heard all these at once. He did not hear then at all. The Emperor spoke and did not speak. The very idea of words seemed ridiculous, the concept of them a grievous harm against the equilibrium of time and being.
Roboute, Guilliman.
The raging tempest spoke his name, and it was as the violence a dying sun rains down upon its world.
Guilliman, 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 Guilliman.
The name echoed down the winds of eternity, never ceasing, never reaching its intended point. The sensation of many minds reached out to Guilliman, violating his senses as they tried to communicate. But then, one mind seemed to come from the many, a raw, unbound power, and gave wordless commands to go out and save what they had built together, to destroy what they made, to save his brothers, to kill them. Contradictory impulses, all impossible to disobey. All the same, all different. Futures many and terrible raced through his mind, the results of all these things, should he do any, all, or none of them. "Father!" he cried. Thoughts battered him.
A son, not a son, a thing, a name, not a name, a number, a tool, a product.
A grand plan in ruins, an ambition unrealized, information, too much information coursed through Guilliman, stars and galaxies, entire universes, races older than time, things too terrifying to be real, eroding his being like a storm in full spate, carves knife-edge gullies into Badlands. "Please, Father!" he begged.
Father, not a father, thing,
the mind said.
Apotheosis, victory, defeat, choose.
It said.
Fate, future, past, renewal, despair, decay.
And then there seemed to be a focusing of a great will exerting itself. Not for the final time, but nearly for the final time. A sense of strength failing, a sense of ending. Far away he heard arcane machines whine and screech, close to collapse, and the clamor of screams of dying Psykers that underpinned everything in that horrific room, riding higher in pitch and intensity.
Guilliman.
The voices overlaid, overlapped, became almost one. And Guilliman had a fleeting memory of a sad face that had seen too much and a burden it can barely countenance.
Guilliman, hear me, my last loyal son, my pride, my greatest triumph.
How those words burned him. Worse than the poisons of Mortarion, worse than the sting of failure. They were not a lie, not entirely. It was worse than that. They were conditional.
My last tool, my last hope.
Final drawing in a power, a thought expelled like a dying breath.
Guilliman.
Wow, what a banger of an excerpt this was. It gives us a kind of a look into what the Emperor has become, and it's not pretty. Not at all. It shows that after 10,000 years of sitting upon a golden throne, all the torment he's had to endure by basically staving off a chaos invasion of Terra through the shattered webway portal, and it's just 10,000 years of torment have broken him. And it sounds like he, like I just said, it's broken him. His personality has been shattered into many, many, many different fragments, and each one of them are trying to vie for control to at least communicate something. And it seems like that there is one unifying presence there that might not be the Emperor as we or the Primarchs knew him. That would be the God Emperor. I fully believe that there are two distinct entities here. One has been shattered and one is the God Emperor. And the God Emperor is very, very close to completely overtaking what was once the Emperor of mankind. Because he never wanted to be a god. He never wanted to be worshipped as a god. Well, lo and behold, here we are in the 41st millennium of his religion being the number one thing in the galaxy. It even says apotheosis, victory, defeat. And it's just like, yeah, at the same time, it's a victory and it's a defeat. Victory because, well, you didn't die. You stopped chaos from coming in on Terra and fucking everything up. but also it's a defeat now that you have become an object of worship. Your plan to starve the chaos gods of worshippers kind of backfired to the point where you might very well be the next chaos god. That is both a victory and defeat. Like, it's like that meme, task failed successfully. That sums up the Emperor. Task failed successfully. Straight up. And I love the idea that it's just like it's overwhelming power. It's overwhelming to a Primarch of all people. Imagine what that would do to a normal person. Of course, I would probably just fucking set them on goddamn fire or destroy them a la Raiders of the Lost Ark opening up the Ark of the Covenant. It's fucking nuts how much the Emperor has deteriorated since then, but also how much powerful he's gotten over since then. It's a different sense of power. I feel like pre-heresy intact Big E is more of a localized power, while the God Emperor power is more general across the galaxy type of thing. And since the Great Rift happened in the Cicatrix Maledictum that tore the galaxy in half of that isn't even being powered by him anymore, so that half of the power goes right back to him, and we're starting to see movements from the Emperor, communications, stuff like that. The Custodies are receiving dreams again. Guilliman was able to, quote-unquote, speak to his father. The Emperor was able to basically bitch-slap Mortarion and burn Nurgle's garden a bit. That isn't the sign of a dead, decaying god, a corpse emperor. That is the sign of a resurgent emperor. And I feel like if more of the galaxy starts to become more closed in, with his power being cut off from there, more power is going to be funneled to him, which means further actions will be able to go ahead and be taken. Say, for example, if the Tyranids start, nom-nom-nomming the galaxy and they push it all the way back to Segmentum Solar, and I believe at that point, maybe the Emperor might start regenerating his flesh once more. And when that happens, who else knows what could happen? Honestly, I don't want 40k end times. I don't want that. I've seen what happened to Warhammer Fantasy with the end times. Yeah, no thank you. At least not right now. And if you're gonna do that, put some extra thought into that, because yeah, like Age of Sigmar may not be the best. I think it's fucking cool looking. Whenever I see a picture of Stormcast Eternals fighting Chaos or whatever, power metal just blares in my fucking mind. Is amazing. I'm genuinely interested to see in the coming years what is going to happen with the Emperor. Is he going to continue to amass power and regenerate a little bit, or is it just going to go back to stagnation again? Because I feel like since like the mid-2000s up until very recently when Guilliman woke up, things have been kind of stagnant, which kind of makes sense in the terms of 40k. It's a stagnant, dying empire, but it's starting to move the plot forward a little bit. A lot of people aren't really happy about that. They want things to stay just as they are. Fucked. Everything's fucked. No hope, no survival, all that good stuff, right? I mean, I understand the appeal to that, but I feel like for a setting and for stories, things do have to progress forward. And I like the whole idea of Abaddon throwing a fucking hissy fit and yeeting up some Blackstone's fortress into Cadia and ripping the galaxy in half. That's really, really cool. I don't care who you are, that's cool. And Dante and stuff like that, becoming the commander of Imperium Nihilus. That's really, really neat. I can't wait to see where things go there. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I love the discussions and interaction that happens. Be sure to leave a like, and if you're not subscribed, what the fuck are you doing? Subscribe, please. But no, for real, if you want to subscribe, go ahead and do it. That really does help me out, and so does leaving a like. Helps with the algorithm, that omnipresent extension of the Omnissiah. Well, have a great day, guys. Hope you enjoyed.